Your thoughts create your life. That's what Louise Hay always said. Imagine if you could change your whole life just by changing how you think. Sounds too good to be true, right? But that's exactly what Louise Hay taught, and millions of people say it works. She believed we could reprogram our minds, like updating the software on a computer to create happier, healthier lives. Today, we're diving into Louise Hay's ideas about how to reprogram your mind. If you've ever felt stuck, unhappy, or just wanted more out of life, this video is for you. We'll explore simple yet powerful ways to shift your thinking and transform your life, all based on Louise Hay's teachings. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to breeze through life, while others struggle with every little thing? Louise Hay would say it's all about what's going on in their minds. Our thoughts are like seeds. Plant positive thoughts, and you grow a positive life. Plant negative thoughts, and well, you can guess what happens. But here's the good news. You can choose what to plant. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine two people who both lose their jobs. The first person thinks, "This is terrible. I'll never find another job. My life is ruined." The second person thinks, "This is a challenge, but it's also a chance for a fresh start. I wonder what exciting opportunity will come next." Same situation, different thoughts. And guess what? Those thoughts will lead to different actions and different outcomes. This is why reprogramming your mind matters so much. It's not just about feeling better, though that's great too. It's about creating real change in your life. When you change your thoughts, you change how you act, how you treat yourself and others, and even what opportunities you notice and take advantage of. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses and suddenly seeing the world in a whole new way. But let's be real for a moment. Changing how you think isn't always easy. We all have habits of thought that we've built up over years, maybe even decades. Some of these thought patterns might have been with us since childhood. That's why it's called reprogramming. It takes some effort and practice, but the payoff can be huge. Think about it. What if you could wake up every day feeling confident and excited about life, instead of anxious or down? What if you could handle challenges with grace instead of stress? What if you could build better relationships, find work you love, or even improve your health? According to Louise Hay, all of this and more is possible when you reprogram your mind. So if you're ready for a change, if you're tired of feeling stuck or limited by your thoughts, this video is for you. We're going to explore practical, simple ways to start reprogramming your mind today. You don't need any special skills or knowledge. You just need an open mind and a willingness to try something new. Are you ready? Let's dive in and discover the power of your thoughts. Before we jump into the how-tos of reprogramming your mind, let's talk about the woman who made these ideas famous, Louise Hay. Born in 1926, Louise didn't exactly have an easy start in life. She faced abuse as a child, dropped out of high school, and became a single mother in her teens. By her 30s, she was diagnosed with cancer. But instead of letting these challenges defeat her, Louise used them as fuel for personal growth and healing. Louise's journey into the world of positive thinking and self-help began in the 1970s. She started attending meetings of the Church of Religious Science and became a practitioner, counseling people on how to improve their lives through positive thinking. But it was her own battle with cancer that really cemented her beliefs about the power of the mind. When Louise was diagnosed with cancer, she decided to approach her healing in a holistic way. Along with conventional treatments, she used affirmations, visualization, nutritional cleansing, and psychotherapy. She believed that her cancer was linked to her unwillingness to let go of resentment from her abusive childhood. By working on forgiving those who had hurt her and loving herself, Louise said she was able to heal her body. Whether you believe in this connection or not, Louise's recovery sparked a passion in her to help others heal their lives through positive thinking. In 1976, Louise published her first book, Heal Your Body, which started as a small pamphlet describing the mental causes of physical ailments. But it was her 1984 book, You Can Heal Your Life, that really put her on the map. This book became an international bestseller, has been translated into over 50 languages, and has sold over 50 million copies worldwide. Pretty impressive for someone who started her career in her 50s. So, what was the main message in You Can Heal Your Life? Simply put, it was this: The thoughts we think and the words we speak create our experiences. Louise believed that every thought we have is creating our future. She taught that by changing our thinking patterns, we could literally change our lives. Whether it was improving relationships, boosting self-esteem, increasing wealth, or even healing physical ailments, Louise believed it all started with our thoughts. But Louise wasn't just about positive thinking. She also emphasized the importance of self-love and self-acceptance. One of her most famous quotes is, "Remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." She believed that many of our problems stem from a lack of self-love, and that learning to truly love and accept ourselves was key to creating a happy, healthy life. Louise's ideas weren't always accepted by everyone. Some people criticized her for oversimplifying complex issues or making claims about healing that couldn't be scientifically proven. But for millions of people around the world, her teachings offered hope, comfort, and a practical way to improve their lives. Despite facing skepticism from some quarters, Louise continued to spread her message well into her later years. She founded Hay House, a publishing company that has become a leader in self-help and transformational books. She also hosted a weekly radio show, wrote numerous books, and gave lectures and workshops around the world. Louise passed away in 2017 at the age of 90, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire people today. So why are we talking about Louise Hay in a video about reprogramming your mind? Because her life and teachings offer a powerful example of how changing our thoughts can change our lives. Louise didn't just teach these ideas, she lived them. She took a life that could have been defined by victimhood and turned it into one of empowerment and service to others. And she did it all by changing how she thought about herself and the world around her. As we dive deeper into Louise Hay's techniques for reprogramming the mind, keep her story in mind. Remember that these aren't just abstract ideas, but practical tools that have helped millions of people, starting with Louise herself. Whether you're dealing with a health issue, relationship problems, career challenges, or just a general sense of dissatisfaction with life, Louise's teachings offer a way to start making positive changes from the inside out. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how does it actually work? How can I start reprogramming my mind? That's exactly what we're going to explore next. We'll look at Louise's concept of the mind as a mirror, learn about the power of affirmations, and discover practical ways to start shifting your thoughts and your life. So stick with us, because we're about to dive into the heart of Louise Hay's powerful techniques for transformation. One of Louise Hay's most powerful concepts is the idea that life is like a mirror. But what does that mean exactly? Well, Louise believed that the experiences we have in life, the people we meet, and the situations we find ourselves in are all reflections of our innermost thoughts and beliefs. In other words, what we see out there in the world is really just a mirror of what's going on in here, in our minds. This might sound a bit strange at first. After all, we often feel like life is happening to us, not because of us. But Louise would say that on a deeper level, we're actually creating our experiences through our thoughts and beliefs. It's like we're all walking around with invisible mirrors, reflecting our inner world out into our outer reality. Let's break this down with a simple example. Imagine someone who deep down believes they're not worthy of love. They might not even realize they have this belief, but it's there, hidden in their subconscious. Now, according to the mirror concept, this person's relationships will tend to reflect this belief. They might attract partners who don't treat them well, or they might sabotage good relationships because they don't feel deserving of love. The outside world, their relationships, is mirroring their inner belief about being unlovable. But here's where it gets really interesting. Louise taught that if this person could change their inner belief, if they could start to truly believe they are worthy of love, their outer reality would start to change too. They might start attracting healthier relationships, or they might find the courage to leave unhealthy ones. The mirror of life would start reflecting back this new, more positive belief. This mirror concept applies to all areas of life, not just relationships. Think about work, for example. If you believe deep down that you're not capable or that success is for other people, not you, You might find yourself stuck in unfulfilling jobs or constantly facing setbacks in your career. But if you can shift those inner beliefs, if you can start to see yourself as capable and deserving of success, you might find new opportunities opening up. You might feel more confident in job interviews or have the courage to start that business you've been dreaming about. Now, you might be thinking, but wait a minute, bad things happen to good people all the time. Are you saying it's their fault? And that's a really important question. Louise Hay was very clear that this mirror concept isn't about blame. It's not about saying that people deserve bad things or that everything is their fault. Instead, it's about empowerment. It's about realizing that while we can't control everything that happens in life, we do have control over our reactions and our beliefs. And by changing those, we can start to change our experiences. It's also important to note that this mirror concept isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect when it's not. If you're in a difficult situation, the first step is to acknowledge it. But then, instead of getting stuck in negative thinking, you can ask yourself, what is this situation reflecting back to me? What can I learn from this? How can I grow? Let's look at another example to really bring this home. Imagine someone who always seems to have money troubles. They might be constantly in debt, or they might earn a good salary but somehow always feel broke. Now, if we apply the mirror concept, we look at what beliefs this person might have about money. Maybe they grew up hearing that money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy. Or maybe they have a deep-seated belief that they don't deserve abundance. According to Louise Hay, these inner beliefs would be reflected in their outer financial reality. But, and this is the exciting part, if they could change those beliefs, their financial situation could start to change too. They might start noticing opportunities they overlooked before. They might feel more confident asking for a raise or setting higher prices for their services. They might even find themselves naturally making better financial decisions. Now, does this mean that simply changing your thoughts will make you a millionaire overnight? Of course not. Louise Hay never promised quick fixes or magical solutions. What she did promise is that changing your thoughts can open up new possibilities and set you on a different path. It's not about instantly manifesting your dreams, but about gradually shifting your reality to align more with what you want. This mirror concept can be a bit mind-bending at first. We're so used to thinking that our thoughts are just reactions to what's happening in our lives. But what if it's the other way around? What if our lives are actually reflecting our deepest, most ingrained thoughts and beliefs? It's a powerful idea because it puts us back in the driver's seat of our own lives. But how do we actually put this mirror concept into practice? How do we change those deep-seated beliefs that might be holding us back? That's where Louise Hay's other teachings come in, especially her work with affirmations and positive self-talk. By consciously choosing more positive thoughts and repeating them regularly, we can start to shift those underlying beliefs. It's like cleaning and polishing that mirror, so it starts to reflect back a brighter, more positive reality. Remember, though, that this is a process. Just like you can't expect to get fit by going to the gym once, you can't expect to completely reprogram your mind overnight. It takes consistent practice and patience. But according to Louise Hay and millions of her followers, the results are worth it. As we move forward in this video, we'll explore more specific techniques for reprogramming your mind, including how to use affirmations effectively and how to deal with negative thoughts when they come up. But keep this mirror concept in mind. It's the foundation of Louise Hay's teachings and a powerful tool for understanding how our inner world shapes our outer reality. So the next time you find yourself frustrated with a situation in your life, try pausing and asking yourself, what might this be reflecting back to me? What thoughts or beliefs might I have that are contributing to this situation? You might be surprised at the insights you gain. And remember, if life is indeed a mirror, then changing your reflection starts with changing your thoughts. It's a simple idea, but one that has the power to transform your entire life. At the heart of Louise Hay's teachings on reprogramming the mind are positive affirmations. But what exactly are affirmations? Simply put, they're positive statements that you repeat to yourself, either out loud or in your mind. They're like little seeds of positivity that you plant in your subconscious. The idea is that by repeating these positive statements regularly, you can start to change your beliefs and, in turn, your life. Now, you might be thinking, how can just saying some words to myself make any real difference? And that's a fair question. The power of affirmations lies in how our minds work. Our subconscious minds don't really distinguish between what's real and what we vividly imagine. When we repeat affirmations, we're essentially giving our subconscious minds new instructions. Over time, these new thoughts can replace old, negative beliefs. Louise Hay had some favorite affirmations that she used herself and recommended to others. One of her most famous was, "I love and approve of myself." It sounds simple, doesn't it? But think about how many of us go through life constantly criticizing ourselves. We focus on our flaws, beat ourselves up over mistakes, and rarely stop to appreciate our good qualities. By repeating, "I love and approve of myself" regularly, we're countering those negative thoughts and building a more positive self-image. Another popular Louise Hay affirmation is, "All is well in my world." This one is great for times when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. It reminds us that even when things seem chaotic, there's an underlying order to the universe. It's about trusting that things will work out, even if we can't see how right now. For health issues, Louise often recommended affirmations like, "My body knows how to heal itself and is doing so now." This affirmation taps into the body's natural healing abilities and promotes a positive outlook, which can be beneficial when dealing with illness. When it comes to abundance and prosperity, Louise suggested affirmations like, "I am open and receptive to all the good and abundance in the universe." This affirmation helps shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, opening us up to opportunities we might otherwise miss. But Louise didn't just give people a list of affirmations to repeat. She encouraged everyone to create their own affirmations that resonated with their specific situation and desires. Here's how you can create your own affirmations. First, identify an area of your life you want to improve. It could be your health, relationships, career, or anything else. Next, think about what you want in this area. Be specific and positive. Instead of focusing on what you don't want, focus on what you do want. For example, let's say you want to improve your confidence at work. Instead of an affirmation like, "I'm not nervous during presentations," you might create one that says, "I speak confidently and clearly during presentations. My ideas are valuable and well received." When creating affirmations, use present tense, as if what you're affirming is already true. Use positive language, avoiding words like don't, can't, or won't, and make your affirmations personal, using I statements. It's also important to choose affirmations that feel believable to you. If an affirmation feels too far-fetched, your mind might reject it. For instance, if you're currently struggling financially, an affirmation like, "I am a millionaire," might feel too unbelievable. Instead, you could start with something like, "I am open to new opportunities to increase my income." Once you've created your affirmations, the key is to use them regularly. Louise recommended saying affirmations daily, preferably in front of a mirror. This adds a visual element, making the affirmations even more powerful. You can say them out loud, write them down, or even record them and listen to them throughout the day. Remember, using affirmations isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your focus to the positive and opening yourself up to new possibilities. It's about changing the conversation you have with yourself, replacing self-criticism with self-encouragement. At first, saying affirmations might feel a bit awkward or silly. You might not believe what you're saying. That's okay and totally normal. Louise Hay often said that when you start working with affirmations, it's like planting a seed. You don't plant a seed and then dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You plant it, water it regularly, and trust that it's growing, even if you can't see the results right away. So be patient with yourself as you start using affirmations. Give them time to work. And pay attention to the small changes you start to notice in your thoughts and feelings. You might find yourself feeling more positive, more confident, or more open to new opportunities. These small shifts can lead to bigger changes over time. Now that we've talked about the power of positive affirmations, let's address the elephant in the room: negative thoughts. We all have them. Even the most positive people sometimes find themselves caught in a spiral of negative thinking. So how did Louise Hay suggest we deal with these pesky negative thoughts? First, it's important to understand why we have negative thoughts in the first place. Often, these thoughts are old patterns we've developed over time, usually as a way to protect ourselves. Maybe you had a bad experience in the past, and your mind is trying to prevent it from happening again. Or perhaps you grew up in an environment where negative thinking was the norm. Whatever the reason, it's crucial to remember that having negative thoughts doesn't make you a negative person. It just makes you human. Louise Hay believed that the key to dealing with negative thoughts wasn't to fight them or try to force them away. Instead, she taught a gentler, more compassionate approach. Here are some of her tips for handling negative thinking. Awareness is the first step. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Often, we're so used to our negative self-talk that we don't even notice it anymore. By becoming aware of your thoughts, you can start to see patterns and triggers. Don't judge yourself for having negative thoughts. Remember, it's not the thoughts themselves that are the problem. It's believing them and letting them control your actions. When you notice a negative thought, try to observe it without judgment. You might even thank your mind for trying to protect you, even if the method isn't helpful. Question your thoughts. When a negative thought pops up, ask yourself, is this really true? Do I know for certain that this is true? Often, our negative thoughts are based on assumptions or fears, not facts. Replace negative thoughts with positive ones. This is where affirmations come in. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, consciously choose a more positive thought to replace it. It's like changing the channel in your mind. Let's look at an example of how this might work in practice. Say you're about to give a presentation at work, and you find yourself thinking, I'm going to mess this up. Everyone will think I'm incompetent. Here's how you could apply Louise Hay's approach. First, you'd notice the thought, there's that negative thinking again. Then, instead of berating yourself for being negative, you'd acknowledge the thought without judgment. I'm having the thought that I'll mess up the presentation. Next, you'd question the thought. Do I know for certain that I'll mess up? Have I given successful presentations in the past? Am I prepared for this one? This helps put the thought in perspective. Finally, you'd replace the negative thought with a more positive one. You might use an affirmation like, I am well prepared and capable. I share my ideas clearly and confidently. Louise Hay also emphasized the importance of self-love in dealing with negative thoughts. She believed that many of our negative thoughts stem from a lack of self-love and self-acceptance. By practicing self-love through affirmations, self-care, and treating ourselves with kindness, we can reduce the power of negative thinking. One powerful technique Louise suggested was to look in the mirror every day and say, I love you, your name. At first, this might feel uncomfortable or even silly, but over time, it can help build a more loving relationship with yourself, making you more resilient to negative thoughts. Another important point Louise made about dealing with negative thoughts is that it's a process. You're not going to banish all negative thinking overnight, and that's okay. The goal isn't to never have a negative thought again. That's not realistic. The goal is to change your relationship with these thoughts, to lessen their power over you, and to be able to choose more positive, helpful thoughts more often. It's also worth noting that while positive thinking is powerful, it's not a substitute for professional help if you're dealing with persistent negative thoughts or depression. Louise Hay always advocated for a holistic approach to well-being, which could include therapy, medication, or other forms of support alongside positive thinking practices. Remember, your thoughts are tools. They're neither good nor bad in themselves. What matters is how you use them. By practicing awareness, questioning negative thoughts, and consciously choosing more positive ones, you can start to reprogram your mind for greater happiness and success. One of Louise Hay's most powerful and transformative practices was her mirror work, a simple yet profound exercise in self-love. This exercise might sound easy, but for many people, it's surprisingly challenging. Why? Because it requires us to face ourselves, literally, and offer love and acceptance to the person we see in the mirror. Stand in front of a mirror. It can be a full-length mirror or just a small hand mirror. The important thing is that you can see your face clearly. Look into your own eyes. Really look. Don't just glance and look away. Hold your gaze. As you look at yourself, say out loud, "I love and accept you exactly as you are." That's it. Simple, right? But for many people, this exercise can bring up all sorts of emotions: discomfort, sadness, even anger. We're often our own harshest critics, and looking ourselves in the eye and offering love can feel strange or difficult at first. Louise recommended doing this exercise every day, ideally in the morning when you first wake up and in the evening before you go to bed. She suggested starting with just a minute or two and gradually increasing the time as you become more comfortable with the practice. As you do this exercise, you might notice negative thoughts or criticisms popping up. That's normal. When this happens, Louise advised acknowledging these thoughts without judgment and then gently bringing your focus back to the words of love and acceptance. You can also expand on the basic "I love and accept you" statement. You might add specific affirmations based on areas where you want to build more self-love. For example, "I love and accept you. You are beautiful and worthy of love. I love and accept you. Your feelings are valid and important. I love and accept you. You are doing the best you can, and that is enough." Louise believed that this mirror work was so powerful because it helps us connect with ourselves in a deep and meaningful way. When we look into our own eyes and offer love and acceptance, we're speaking directly to our inner child, that part of us that may have been hurt or neglected in the past. Over time, this practice can help heal old wounds and build a stronger, more loving relationship with ourselves. And as we become more loving and accepting of ourselves, we often find that our relationships with others improve too. We become less dependent on external validation and more able to give and receive love freely. But why is self-love so important in reprogramming our minds? Louise Hay believed that self-love was the foundation for all positive change in our lives. When we truly love and accept ourselves, we're more likely to make choices that support our well-being. We're more resilient in the face of challenges. We're more open to good things coming into our lives because we believe we deserve them. Think about it this way. If you don't believe you're worthy of love, success, or happiness, you're likely to subconsciously sabotage yourself. You might stay in unhealthy relationships, turn down opportunities, or engage in self-destructive behaviors. But when you love yourself, you naturally gravitate towards people and situations that reflect that love back to you. It's important to note that self-love isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all, while still being open to growth and change. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion you'd offer to a good friend. As you practice this self-love exercise, be patient with yourself. If you find it difficult at first, that's okay. Start small. Maybe begin with just looking in the mirror and smiling at yourself. Or start with a less charged statement like, "I'm learning to love and accept myself." The key is to make it a regular practice, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Remember, you've likely spent years, maybe even decades, being critical of yourself. It will take time to rewire those neural pathways and build new, more loving thought patterns. But with consistent practice, you can change your relationship with yourself. Many people who have practiced Louise Hay's mirror work report profound changes in their lives. They describe feeling more confident, more at peace with themselves, and more able to handle life's challenges. Some even report improvements in their physical health, which aligns with Louise's belief in the mind-body connection. So, are you ready to give it a try? Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about practice. It's about showing up for yourself every day and choosing love, even when it's difficult. It's about reprogramming your mind to make self-love your default setting, rather than self-criticism. As Louise Hay often said, "You have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." This mirror exercise is a powerful way to put that approval into practice. It's a simple act, but one that has the potential to transform your entire life from the inside out. Now that we've explored Louise Hay's key concepts and exercises, let's talk about how to incorporate these ideas into your daily life. After all, reprogramming your mind isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. Louise Hay often emphasized the importance of consistency in creating lasting change. Here are some practical tips to help you make these practices a part of your everyday routine. Start your day with positivity. Louise believed that how you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Try beginning each morning with a few minutes of mirror work or positive affirmations. You might say something like, "Today is going to be a great day. I am open to all the good that life has to offer." This helps you start the day with a positive mindset. Use affirmations throughout the day. Look for opportunities to incorporate affirmations into your daily activities. You could put sticky notes with affirmations on your mirror, computer, or car dashboard. Set reminders on your phone to prompt you to take a moment for a positive thought. Even simple tasks like brushing your teeth or waiting in line can become opportunities for affirmations. Practice mindfulness. Louise Hay's teachings align well with mindfulness practices. Try to be present in the moment and aware of your thoughts throughout the day. When you notice negative self-talk creeping in, gently redirect your thoughts to more positive ones. End your day with gratitude. Before going to bed, take a few minutes to reflect on the good things that happened during the day. Louise often recommended keeping a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each night. This helps train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Use positive language. Pay attention to the words you use, both when talking to yourself and to others. Try to phrase things in a positive way. For example, instead of saying, "Don't forget," say, "Remember." Instead of, "I can't," try, "I'm learning to." Surround yourself with positivity. Louise Hay believed that our environment affects our thoughts. Try to surround yourself with positive people, uplifting books, and inspiring music or podcasts. Limit exposure to negative news or media that brings you down. Take care of your body. Remember, Louise Hay emphasized the mind-body connection. Engage in regular exercise, eat nourishing foods, and get enough sleep. When you take care of your body, it's easier to maintain a positive mindset. Be patient and kind to yourself. Changing thought patterns takes time. There will be days when negative thoughts seem to take over, and that's okay. Don't berate yourself for having negative thoughts. Instead, gently guide yourself back to your positive practices. Visualize your goals. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing your goals as if they've already been achieved. Really feel the emotions associated with that achievement. This aligns with Louise's teaching that our thoughts create our reality. Create a positive affirmation ritual. Choose a daily activity, like your morning coffee or your commute, and associate it with a specific affirmation. Over time, the activity itself will trigger positive thoughts. Remember, the key to making these practices effective is consistency. It's better to spend 5 minutes a day on these practices than to do an hour once a week. As Louise often said, "It's only a thought, and a thought can be changed." With regular practice, you can change your thoughts and, in turn, change your life. One of the most inspiring aspects of Louise Hay's teachings is the countless success stories from people who have applied her methods. These stories serve as powerful reminders of the potential we all have to transform our lives through positive thinking and self-love. Let's look at a couple of these stories to see how Louise Hay's ideas have played out in real life. Sarah had been dealing with chronic back pain for years. She tried various medical treatments, but nothing seemed to provide lasting relief. Feeling frustrated and hopeless, she came across Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. At first, Sarah was skeptical of the idea that her thoughts could affect her physical health, but she decided to give it a try. She started doing mirror work every day, telling herself, "I love and accept myself completely. My body knows how to heal itself." She also began to explore the emotional issues that Louise Hay associated with back problems, feelings of lack of support, and financial worries. As Sarah worked on loving herself and addressing these emotional issues, she noticed something remarkable. Her pain began to decrease. She felt more relaxed and at peace. While she continued with her medical treatments, she found that her positive mindset made a big difference in how she coped with her condition. Over time, Sarah's back pain significantly reduced. But more than that, she felt empowered. She no longer saw herself as a victim of her condition. Instead, She felt in control of her health and her life. Sarah often says that while Louise Hay's methods didn't cure her overnight, they gave her the tools to participate actively in her healing process and to live a fuller, more joyful life despite her physical challenges. Mark had always struggled with money. No matter how hard he worked, he never seemed to get ahead financially. He was constantly stressed about bills and felt like he was fighting a losing battle with debt. When a friend gave him Louise Hay's book on prosperity, Mark was intrigued. He realized that he had a lot of negative beliefs about money. He often thought things like, "I'll never have enough," or "rich people are greedy." Mark decided to try changing these thoughts. He started using affirmations like, "I am open and receptive to all the abundance in the universe, and money flows into my life easily and effortlessly." At first, it felt strange and even a bit silly, but he kept at it, repeating these affirmations every morning and evening. Gradually, Mark noticed a shift. He felt less anxious about money. He started to see opportunities he hadn't noticed before. When a chance for a promotion came up at work, instead of thinking, "I'm not qualified," Mark thought, "I have valuable skills to offer." He applied for the promotion and got it. As his income increased, Mark found that his new positive mindset helped him make better financial decisions. He was no longer operating from a place of fear and scarcity. Within a year, he had paid off his debts and started saving for the future. Mark is quick to point out that using Louise Hay's methods didn't magically make money appear out of thin air, but it did change how he thought about money and his own worth. This new mindset led him to take actions that improved his financial situation. Today, Mark feels financially secure and is even teaching others about the connection between thoughts and financial well-being. These stories illustrate a crucial point that Louise Hay often made. Changing your thoughts doesn't mean ignoring real-world actions. Sarah still needed medical treatment, and Mark still needed to work and make smart financial choices. But by changing their thoughts, they changed how they approached their challenges. They opened themselves up to new possibilities and found the strength to take positive action. It's important to note that not everyone who uses Louise Hay's methods will see such dramatic results. Everyone's journey is unique. But these success stories show what's possible when we commit to changing our thoughts and loving ourselves. They remind us that no matter what challenges we face, we have the power to change our experience of life by changing how we think about it. As Louise Hay often said, "You may not be able to control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." These success stories are testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of positive thinking. They show us that with patience, persistence, and self-love, we can indeed reprogram our minds and transform our lives. As we come to the end of our exploration of Louise Hay's teachings on reprogramming the mind, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've journeyed through the core principles of Louise's philosophy, from the mirror concept to the power of affirmations, from dealing with negative thoughts to practicing self-love. We've seen how these ideas can be applied in daily life and heard inspiring stories of people who have transformed their lives using these methods. The central message that runs through all of Louise Hay's work is this: you have the power to change your life by changing your thoughts. It's a simple idea, but one with profound implications. It means that no matter what circumstances you find yourself in, you always have control over one thing: your own mind. But let's be clear. Reprogramming your mind isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect when it's not. It's about choosing how you respond to life's challenges. It's about cultivating a mindset that empowers you rather than limits you. It's about treating yourself with love and kindness, even or especially when things are tough. Remember, this is a journey, not a destination. You won't reprogram your mind overnight. There will be days when negative thoughts seem overwhelming, when looking in the mirror and saying, "I love you," feels impossible. That's okay. Be patient with yourself. As Louise often said, you've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. The practices we've discussed, affirmations, mirror work, mindfulness, gratitude, are tools. Like any tools, they become more effective with practice. The key is consistency. Small actions, repeated daily, can lead to big changes over time. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to choose one or two practices that resonate with you and commit to doing them every day for the next month. Maybe it's starting your day with a positive affirmation or ending it with a gratitude practice. Maybe it's spending a few minutes doing mirror work or catching and reframing negative thoughts. Whatever you choose, give it a fair try. Be curious about what changes you might notice, not just in your thoughts, but in your feelings, your actions, and your life. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Millions of people around the world have found hope, healing, and transformation through Louise Hay's teachings. You're part of a global community of people who are choosing to reprogram their minds for positivity and self-love. In closing, let me leave you with one of Louise Hay's most powerful affirmations. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. In moments of doubt or difficulty, return to these words. Let them remind you of your inner strength and the endless possibilities that open up when you choose to reprogram your mind for positivity and love. Your journey of transformation starts now, with this moment, with the very next thought you choose to think. As Louise Hay would say, remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens.